this is Hina from Team Vallath, sharing 25 years of excellence with you, and we are continuing the legacy. Today's novel is The Last of the Mohicans, a narrative of 1757, which is a part of Leather Stocking series. By whom? By James Fenimore Cooper. You should know James Fenimore Cooper, an American novelist who lived from 1789 to 1851. He wrote primarily about frontier, the Wild West or the Old West of America, where Native Americans lived and where colonization began by the Europeans. They came for the rich resources. They then sided with different Native American tribes. They fought between themselves. That is what we shall listen today. So the novel's name is The Last of the Mohicans, a narrative of 1757, published in 1826. Genre is historical romance and frontier adventure novel, as I told you. Setting is frontier New York or upstate New York during the French and Indian War. Here, Indian means Native American. And the year of action is 1757. Let's begin. Major Duncan Hayward works for the Royal American or English Army. So he is an Englishman, a Britisher. His name is Major Duncan Hayward. He's here in New York, in America, to fight a war against the French. A bitter war has begun between the French, who are allied with Mingo or Iroquois, who are Native American tribes, these Mingo and Iroquois. So a fight has begun between French and English. English are allied with other Native American tribes called as Indians, Mohicans, and Delaware. So here we come with the name Mohicans. Mohicans are Native American tribes, which is different from the other Native American tribes in the sense that people thought that they did not exist, okay? They thought that Mohicans are no more, but here we will find two Native American Mohicans, okay? And, around them, the story will be formed, how they are warriors, how they fight in wars, etc. And of course, the fight is happening in the forest of West New York. Now, here an important theme will be discussed called as savagery and civilization. Understand, the fight is between two European countries, that is England and France. They consider themselves to be very superior. They have come in America in order to fight for the rich resources and become rich. Here, they side with the Native Americans, whom they call savage, okay? They call these people, Native Americans, dehuman. They call them savage, wild, cruel, but they take their sides because they are in their lands, okay? So basically, it's like divide and rule. Like, English people, they have allied with one Native American tribe. French people have allied with another Native American tribe in their own land. They consider themselves superior while these Native Americans inferior. So the theme of savagery and civilization is what we come across. Now, at the start of the novel, this Major Duncan has been assisted the job of escorting two girls named Cora Munro and Alice Munro, who are the daughters of Colonel Munro from Fort Edward to Fort William Henry. These forts, these names are also given by British people only. Understand, look at the names. So basically, these are two British outposts in the jungles of New York. The name of these forts are Fort Edward and the other name is Fort William Henry. Okay, so the girls have to be taken from Fort Edward to Fort William Henry. And who's helping them? Major Duncan. Along with one more person, I'll tell you, he's the villain of the novel. And why are they being escorted from one fort to the other? Because that earlier fort, Fort Edward, is being attacked by the French army. Okay, and the girls need to be safe. Fort Edward is commanded by the English General Webb, while Fort William Henry is commanded by the Colonel Munro. Okay. Now, both these forts are British outposts, which means stronghold points of the British people in the jungle of New York. Now, the guide of this group you understood, no? The two girls, Cora, Alice, they are sisters, and also this Major Hayward. The guide of this group, why they have to be guided? Because the jungle is dense, the jungle is dark, it is deep. Here, their guide is Magua. Magua was a former Mingo who is now allied with the English. So basically, Magua is a very treacherous person. He initially was allied with the French, but now he's claiming that he's with the English people. And he has become the guide of these two girls, these two sisters, along with Major, and he's showing them the way from one fort to the other. In the dense forest, they meet a singer named David Gamet. He's a Christian singer of psalms, but soon after, the group loses their way. Imagine, despite of having such a Native American guide like Magua, the band loses their way in the forest. Do you smell something fishy. Yes. Hayward spots a person called Nettie Bumpo. Oh, Nettie Bumpo. You will find him in all 5 leather stocking series. Okay. Nettie Bumpo. Remember him. Nettie Bumpo or La Longue Carabine or Hawkeye. These are his different names. So when the group has lost its way in the forest, they spot Hayward. He spots Nettie Bumpo in front of him. Now, Nettie Bumpo or Hawkeye is a white man. He is a Britisher who has been living in New York forest for years with Native American people, with the last of the Mohicans men. Who are these Mohicans? Uncas and Chingachgook. Uncas and Chingachgook. Remember their names? The 2 Mohicans in the novel, Uncas and Chingachgook. They are warriors. They are the last of the Mohicans. After them, the Mohican tribe will end. Now, Hawkeye, of course, being an Englishman, is fighting for the English people and, of course, for the Mohicans against the French and the Mingo. Hawkeye describes himself as the man without a cross. Why? Because he does not believe in Christianity and he feels that he exists somewhere between the European culture, which considers itself very civilized, and the Native American culture, which is called very savage. He considers themselves in between this. Okay. Hawkeye confirms to Hayward that this Magua is a Huron or a traitor. This Magua is not with us. He's not with the English people. He's just pretending. He has led this group in the wrong direction. And here the theme of treachery is discussed. Yes, Bumpo is right. Magua is the antagonist. Magua is not with the English people. He is still allied with the French. So after this, the Mohicans, Uncas and Chingachgook, the warriors, they try to capture Magua, but he escapes. Now, what should happen when Magua has escaped? Who will become the guide of these 2 girls and Major? Of course, the Mohicans and Bumpo or Hawkeye. So after this, Hawkeye and Mohicans, that is Uncas and Chingachgook, agree to escort the group safely to Fort William Henry. But soon they run out of gunpowder and therefore they have to hide here and there in caves around. Why? Because they are getting attacked by Magua and his Huron allies. Here the theme of nature is discussed because many a times in the novel, since the scene is happening in the forest of New York, you will find mountains, you will find streams, you will find caves, etc. So theme of nature, natural beauty is discussed in The Last of the Mohicans. Okay. Now, because they are out of gunpowder, because they have to safely escort the girls to the other fort, the Hawkeye and Mohicans, they decide to leave this group for some time and go inform General Webb at Fort Edward about the message. But when Hawkeye and the Mohicans leave, something unfortunate happens. What will happen? Villain will enter. Magua returns to kidnap who all? The sisters, Alice Cora, David and Hayward. Okay. Note, Magua is the novel's antagonist, as I've told you. He's a high-ranking Huron warrior. Who are Hurons? They are a subset of Mingo or Iroquois tribes. Magua wishes to defeat the English and the Mohicans or Delaware tribes. And he also wants to take Cora. You know who is this Cora? Sister of Alice, daughter of Colonel Munro. This Magua wants to take Cora as his wife as a revenge against Colonel Munro. And this Magua has a history of switching alliances, which fits with his nickname. What is the nickname of Magua? The Willie Fox or Le Renard Subtil. Here the theme of treachery is discussed, right? Now, luckily, who had gone to give the message there to the fort, Hawkeye and the Mohicans, they return. And when they return, they kill all the Hurons except for Magua. Magua flees again, okay? Nobody's kidnapped yet. So the group finally reaches Fort William Henry, where the father, Colonel Munro, welcomes his daughters and the rest of the band warmly. Here a conversation happens between Colonel Munro and this Major Hayward, in which Hayward tells that he loves the daughter of Colonel Munro. Which daughter? Alice. Munro accuses Hayward of racism. Why? Because he prefers to marry blonde Alice over dark Cora. Don't be confused. They are sisters, Alice and Cora, but they are from different mothers. Colonel Munro's first wife was part Negro. That is why the daughter of Colonel Munro and the first wife, Cora, she has dark complexion, raven hair, which means black hair. And on the contrary, the daughter from the second wife, that is the daughter's name Alice, she is white in color. She is white-skinned. Okay, easy. unfortunately for the English forces, listen now, listen a little bit what happens historically. Colonel Munro fails to resist the siege on this fort led by Montcalm. Who is Montcalm? He is commander of the French forces. So basically, Montcalm is the enemy. He's the Frenchman. He has come and he has captured the fort where Colonel Munro was there and where his daughters have also come. While Montcalm had assured Munro that the English soldiers, women, and children will have safe passage from this fort back to their encampments, this does not happen. And many English people are killed when French, they take over this fort, and they are telling the English people to get out of the fort, but here a lot of bloodshed happens. Moreover, again the villain reappears, Magua reappears, and now he successfully kidnaps Alice, Cora, David the singer, and Uncas the Mohican. He kidnaps these 4 people and takes them to his Huron village. Here, the theme of escape, pursuit, and rescue, you can see. Literally, Magua is escaping. He's again pursuing. He wants to kidnap these people. And now rescue will happen. Who will rescue? The other Chingachgook, the other Mohican Chingachgook, and of course, the major. So now, after 3 days, someone returns from this kidnap. Who? The singer David. And he informs everyone that Magua has separated Alice and Cora. Alice is imprisoned at a Huron camp, while Cora is imprisoned at a Delaware camp. So now, Hayward, Major Duncan Hayward, along with the Mohicans, he goes to rescue Alice, and they succeed. Yes, and at this time, Hayward confesses his love to her. So here we are done. Alice is rescued. Now let's listen to what happens to Cora. At the Delaware village where Cora is there, Uncas reveals his exalted heritage to the Delaware sage Temenund. So here there's a sage called Temenund, and Uncas tells them that I am a Mohican. I'm a Native American tribe just like you. And listening to this, Temenund says that Delawares have no quarrel with Uncas, who is descended from the same Delaware line. They are the same Native American line people. Also, Temenund, the sage, says that he has no quarrel with Uncas's friends also. He has no quarrel with Hawkeye, that is Nettie Bumpo, no quarrel with Hayward, that is Major Duncan Hayward, no quarrel with Alice, but Temenund sage says that Cora belongs to Megua. Cora is Megua's rightful prisoner and she must marry Magua. But as usual, Cora says she will not marry Magua. Then what happens? A battle ensues. Okay, a battle between Megua and his tribe, and this side you will find Mohicans and Major. They all are fighting. What happens? What is the result? Megua is defeated, but unfortunately, Cora is killed. A rogue Huron kills Cora, because of which Uncas, the Mohican, is so angry. He attacks this Huron who has killed Cora. But Magua comes and stabs Uncas in the back. So Cora is dead. Uncas is dead. After this, Hawkeye shoots Megua with the rifle killdeer to his death. So the antagonist Megua is also dead. This takes us to the end of the novel. The novel ends with the funeral of Cora and Uncas, attended by Major Hayward, Colonel Munro, Hawkeye or Nettie Bumpo, Alice, and Chingachgook, in which you will find that the native and the colonial cultures blend in their sadness over the young people's death. Here you will find the blending of cultures. The savage and the civilized, they are sad because the people, the young people from their own people have died. Mercilessly, they have been killed. Chingachgook celebrates his son's life as a warrior, Uncas' life, who is now dead. Although he recognizes that now Mohicans' tribe of the northern New York will end because Uncas, the son, is dead. Right? And that brings us to the last of the Mohicans, a narrative of 1757 by James Fenimore Cooper. This is Hina from Team Vallath. Thank you so much for being with us. Take care of yourself. Bye-bye.